Welcome back, my analog gamers. Welcome to another game tutorial. If you're looking to learn how to play all the newest cards, board, and hybrid games, you've come to the right place. So come here, unplug, and let's get gaming.
Good morning, Jeremiah. Hope I'm not bothering you from your work. I just have a couple of questions. See, I went through the directory this morning and we seem to be missing a couple of files. Well, yes, I did notice you weren't in the directory, so I assumed you were at your desk. I went to go receive some information on 006 original Jonah Juice, now that we've replaced him. I wanted to get that project back up and running, and I noticed that we're missing the first two files. Yes, I do know who they are on. No. Even though he doesn't work here anymore, we still need to keep his file. His research was very important to us, Jeremiah. Yes, Jeremiah, I'm aware you are very busy and can't be in two places at once, but you must understand these later copies aren't as efficient as you and I. Regardless, I have something for number 10 to do, and I'm sure even he can't screw it up. Try to track down those files when you're done editing that project, would you? Thank you. See you soon.
Today's episode is based on a new game that hasn't even been released yet. Our devs here at Jonah Juice LLC constantly working on pushing the boundaries of entertainment. And today, I'm very pleased to announce the soft launch of Choker. It is a brand new game that revolutionizes the sport of tabletop gameplay. It combines two of the most high IQ games known to man, chess and poker, and it blends them seamlessly into a single or multiplayer gaming experience. And I here have the exact inside scoop of the developer. Now, I'm Jonah Juice. Let's get gaming.
Now, before we go over the rules of Choker, it is very important that you understand that because Choker is not an officially licensed and published game, it'll be up to you to acquiesce the parts needed to play the original Choker experience. This will not be difficult, as almost all of these are either household items or things you have from other games. So, first thing you will need: one deck of official standard cut playing cards, as well as enough standard size alternative cards or spare cards, jokers, anything. These will act as spare jokers for the game. It is recommended that you have at least 2 decks of cards or 1 per player. A full chess set. Accompanying with your chess set, you should also have a full set of checkers, poker chips, a full set of double 6 dominoes, a 1-minute game timer, 10 d6, 5 coins, and 2 sets of red, blue, green, yellow game pieces. These can be houses from Monopoly, houses from Life, pegs from Sorry, colored marbles, anything you can get your grubby little hands on. It is also encouraged that you get an automatic shuffler as to not damage your cards, as well as a notebook and writing utensil, as in this game, calculators are strictly forbidden, and it is heavily encouraged for you to keep track of everything that happens in your deck after each round. So, once you have all this stuff gathered together, you're ready to play!
Right, now, let's crack open this insider information and find out exactly how to play this map. A bunch of pages missing out of the front. I guess we didn't have an open deck of cards in the office. This one still has its authenticity seal in it, as if I'm going to be playing poker. What do I look like? An octogenarian? We're playing bigger and better things. All right, my 2 jokers. Oh, these are these aren't shuffled. These aren't even close to being shuffled. These are in direct numerical order. Who on earth would buy a deck of cards and hope they're in order? All right, now their deck is all nice and shuffled. Okay, this is the beta. The first 4 pages are just the instructions for the beta, which is a completely different game. we need to move on to the actual choker. Sorry about that. Sorry to waste your time. The editor will edit this all out. He's very patient, and we're very lucky to have him on board. This is the actual game of Choker. These are the rules. They have them in order. It's great. Draw 5 cards and make a poker hand. This determines how many dominoes are up for grabs. Okay, we draw the first 5 cards from our deck. We got a pair. We have 2 6s. That's all we have. So with a pair, we get 3 dominoes. That's 3. Okay. 3 dominoes at random. We have the 2 5, the 5 4, and the 3 0. Okay. Lay them face up near the play area. Okay. I need to clear the play area. There's a lot of things to this game, and not all of it is necessary at this stage of the game. That was the stream. The stream is setting this up. That's the stream section of the game. Now we're into the river. Using the timer, take up to the time, drawing 5 cards and making a poker hand. You may sum your score and add it to your pot. Then we flip the timer and we start going. We have 2 7s and jack. We discard these 2, draw 2 more. It's a king and 8. Okay. We'll discard those. All right, that's all the diamonds might go for royal flush. Draw 2 more. King and 3, that's royal 4. 4, no. Well, that's royal flush. Okay, we can get the ace of diamonds, royal flush. Minus diamonds, 8 of hearts, 4 of hearts, ace of hearts, 2 of hearts. Joker. All right, jokers are wild cards. So this is a royal flush, and we did it within the time range. But I did draw through a large portion of my deck, which isn't great because if at any point you run out of cards to draw, you forfeit that round. And if you're playing against someone else, that basically means you're screwed and they're going to get ahead of you. And now we sum these points up, and since it is a royal flush, we multiply by 5d6. And the number cards are worth the numbers. So 2 through 10 is worth 2 through 10. The face cards are worth 11, and aces are worth 12. So 10, 21, 32, 43, 55 times 12, 15, 20, 21. 45 times 21, and you're not allowed to use a calculator, ever. That's what the book is for, so you can do your math. 1,155 points. Okay, so, and the pot is represented in poker chips, which is, so 1,155, right there. Okay. So that's our pot. Dominoes can be claimed for 200 points apiece, meaning I only need 600 in order to claim that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn you into 10 of these. And then 200, 200, 200 from my pot. You get rid of your pot, and you exchange them for your dominoes. A chain of dominoes gives an extra +1 to your multiplier. So because I have the 4-5 and the 5-2, they chain together, and that gives me an extra 1 the next time I have to roll my dice. Houses can be bought for 100 points, and these will be matched to a suit of card from your draw and give you an extra units to your army. Each unit will give you an extra draw. Same color gives +1 bonus to unit health, or if you draw a joker, you get an extra joker in place of a house. Okay, so I could then spend, say, 200 from my pot, flip 2 cards, that's a joker, so I get a joker, put back into my deck, and because this is the heart suit, I get a red house, which grants me a unit to my army. So now, instead of drawing 5 cards with just my base draw, I also get to add an extra card because of the house that I bought. Cool, so now my draw size is 6, which will make it easier to get specific poker hands, because obviously the more cards you draw, the more options you have to actually make. And the final round is head-to-head. Obviously, I'm not playing against a real person, so you draw a 5 plus your army to make the best 5-hand card possible. Extra cards will count towards your score And extra pot can be added as well. These points do not go in your pot. Okay, all right, so when you do your final score, your white chips will be added to your multiplier. So these go with this into your multiplier. These go into your score, which is your hand. And these are added to your final score at the end. Okay, so, and you would do the same exact thing for the third round as you would in the first round when making your points. And you want to beat the score of your opponent. And if you don't have an opponent, then you try to beat there are 5 antes. Each ante, you have an option to claim a coin, which could be silver dollars, they could be Sacagawea dollars, they could be wooden nickels, could be quarters, pennies, literally anything that has distinct sides, and there are 5 of them. And the first score you have to beat is 500, and then it doubles to 1,000 in the second round. The third round, it doubles again to 2,000, and then the third round, it goes to 3,000, and then the final round, you have to beat 5,000 points. And that's if you're playing by yourself. You may mulligan your roll, so say you had a royal flush and you rolled really bad. Say you rolled that, and you didn't want to. You could mulligan by physically ripping the top card of your deck and throwing it away. So if we were playing and I rolled really badly, I could rip this card and I would have gotten rid of the ace of diamonds, which would have been really bad because the aces are like the best cards in the deck. Your deck is alive. It must be fed, grown, and pruned. Much like a mighty poplar, to reach the highest heights may cause your own downfall. No calculators. Keep yourself sharp, improve your internal calculations. And a notepad or ledger shall accompany you and catalog matches and changes to your deck. Common etiquette will have players exchange cards from each other's deck, no more than the number of wooden nickels played for /1. So say I finished a round and I won 3 golden nickels and he won 2 wooden nickels. I could take 3 cards from his deck and he could take 2 cards from mine. Again, I think back in the original, they would let you add literally any card to your deck, regardless of whether or not it was standard size. So it said non-52 style cards should be around the same size as the main deck. Homemade cards aren't standard, but so long as they are 1 to 10 or a face card, they shan't be disqualifying. So I guess if you bought or like wrote over your cards, you could make them whatever. In the event of a tie, chess will be played with the 2 armies. Duplicate troops are treated as pawns. What? I guess that's the odds that you would score the same points as your opponent are astronomical. But I guess that's fine. Want to spice things up? 1 wooden nickel can be spent to add a rule to the game, such as dominoes now add multiplier instead of draw size. Oh, this was for the beta. God, this guy is so unorganized. It also looks like there used to be a base value for each card, for each hand. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Sorry about that. The recording failed. I've gotten to what I can only assume is 3.0. It's when he actually starts to implement chess into it, is an actual like playing chess and not just having the pieces represent your draw size. He played a lot, and now it looks like he's playtesting this game with a friend of his and someone called the boy, and the boy seems young because he's using Pokemon cards and card sleeves, whereas the other guy it sounds like he just bought a bunch of decks of cards and basically Frankenstein himself a deck. But here he's dominoes cost 100 chips, so he lowered the cost of dominoes. The anti-score was lowered for single player. Checkers can be bought for 15 chips, and these act as bases when attacking pieces cannot pass the space without rolling. An owned piece can take refuge on these to gain armor, and they cannot be moved. So it looks like you can buy these pegs for your chips, and they'll interact with the chess pieces. And if you play it single player, there's an AI that you roll to have the opponent play chess against you. Okay, it looks like he got rid of every card in his deck that's under a 7. Antes can scale faster. The pegs are one-time use, and they need to be cheaper. KO, king out. Oh, so like when you win the chess game, gives you 1,000 chips. That's basically just a wooden nickel. And the opponent must be stronger. Okay, so here he made the opposing king summon more things. Pegs seem weak. Lots of stalemates. I have a feeling that chess should be after the C. and you should get chips every time you KO a piece. The opposing king should summon less stuff, and the board gets too cluttered and just slows everything down. I think we're going to set the HP of all pieces. Ties are impossible. A failed attack shunts the attacker back one whenever they fail. No buying pawns. Final ante gives one pawn. That's all scribbled out. Okay, so that's fake. Checkmate and king out. Okay. Current chess is a slog. Rework the pegs. Use on any interaction. Scale with houses still. Every piece rolls 1d6. If whoever rolls higher survives, tie equals reroll. Okay. So, in theory, this one's for the rook. He rolls a 5. This one's for the pawn. He rolls a 4. If those were reversed, when the rook attacks the pawn, if the pawn rolled higher, the rook would be the one disqualified. What? Why would anyone attack with anything other than a pawn if they don't want to lose it? Oh, because the pegs can add or subtract from your rolls, so you can guarantee yourself actually surviving. He went back to the old antes, and all moves happen in the seed phase. Your opponent has 2 times the antes moves, and you get antes. You get as many moves as are antes, or you can spend 500 chips to buy a move. My deck has evolved into a beastly shape. Aces through 9s and 7s. I seem to score mostly 3, 4, 5 of a kind and straights. Next time I play him, I shall surely win. Another cheat sheet. Oh boy. This is a lot. He named the chess phase Naval Warfare. Cool. Each piece has a bounty, so if you knock out a piece, you get chips. He played and he won 1, 2, failed 1. Okay, so he played and he actually almost lost. My deck has been shredded. My rolling was horrendous. I ripped some good cards today, but alas, my deck lives. That's it? That's it? He doesn't even, say the rules. He just talks about playing. I'm gonna have to play it. Okay. I guess I'll have to play it. Welcome back, gamers. So, that was the rules and a brief tutorial of the single-player variety of Choker. However, due to the state of the deck, a standard deck, I unfortunately was not able to keep up with the meta of the game. So, in order to combat this, I've decided to show you a special tutorial of the 2-player variety of Choker. And I have concocted my own deck. What I've done is I actually went into the guy's old office, our game developer, and found, a deck of blank playing cards. And I went through, and for each and every card, I drew a card from this deck, copied it onto a blank playing card, put the card back in this deck, shuffled, and now I have a deck of 52 playing cards. So, instead of having 4 of each card type, I have a statistically ambiguous deck of cards. I'm not great with statistics, I'm good with board games. But this is my deck. This is the deck that I will be using to beat Choker. The game that was, I guess, birthed from a madman. A man who has no respect for uniformity, no respect for simplicity, no respect for... It almost feels like he has no respect for the game itself. The game is just a way for him to manipulate fate and destroy his deck and turn a statistical stability into I don't even know what. The guy was scoring 18,000 points. I couldn't score over 500. It was insane. But anyway, I will beat Choker. And I will do it with my deck. And by the time my deck has been honed and crafted into the perfect deck, I'm going to recreate his deck. Because in his logbook, he consistently writes down what his deck is. And I'm going to beat him at his own game. And then, and only then, can this game be released to the public.
All right, let the game begin. We have a 2 pair. That's all we got. A 2 pair. We got a 2 pair with a 2 to our mult. We can also have, I think, 7 to add to our mult. 8 to add to our mult. Okay, so 2 pair is only 2 dice. So 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 8 is 21, plus 2 is 23. Over here we have 874 points. We're drawing 13 cards over here. 13. Oh my gosh. 4 3s, 7 2 7s. That's it. So we're going to use 1 joker to make this a 5 of a kind. Good old Joe over here. So that's a 5 of a kind. So 5 of a kind is 5d6? Yes. 5. No. 66. Whoops. Shoot, that was a 4. 10, 20, 21, 21, 26, 30, 32. And now this is 15. Each of these is worth 15. The juggler and the joker. Each joker that's not in your hand counts as chips. So this is an extra 30. So 15, 30, 45, 55, 65. That's how those count in there. So 65. 65 times 32. That's 2,080 points. Making my deck the superior deck. Just like I knew it would be. But the game is not over yet. Because we still have the naval warfare section to see who gets the last laugh in the whole chest. Because remember, it's not just poker. It's choker. All right. Get Garbaggio out of the way. I think that was a 2-round knockout, which grants my deck 1,000 coins. Now, normally, what you would do in this situation is you would reset the board and you'd keep the pieces that are still alive and put them back in their base and clear the checkers. But because it's the 5th ante, that's the final round, it's just over. So, good game me. I win and lose. Yeah. So now, for example, with these, what you would do is because it's 2 to 4, you could either spend yours to upgrade your own cards, to take cards from each other. So, for example, say he wanted a card from me. The first card off my deck would be a Queen of Spades. I would then copy this onto a different card, put it in my deck, and either rip this or put it somewhere just like in a spare pile. But because this was just an example, and I was playing against a stock deck, I'm not actually going to do that for this side, but I will, I guess, keep playing single player and try to hone that deck. That's why I didn't rip any cards from this deck, because it's not mine, it's a company card. It's the company cards. Those are mine. So, yeah.
And there you have it, a brief tutorial on how to play Joker. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and our team will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And hey, record yourself and your friends having a friendly batch of Joker and post it online. Don't forget, hashtag Joker, hashtag Jakey Juice Nation. I didn't realize it at the time, but this video will be going up around the holiday season, so Merry Christmas, and remember, keep gaming.